So, I'm sure a lot of people who have been through school, although I have heard that apparently because of COVID and stuff like that, people weren't able to get hoodies from their school and stuff like that. So I got one back in, I don't know if you can read that. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. I'm looking at verse, so I can. Or it's backwards for me even. But yeah, like I got one for a school trip that was down to London in obviously 2011. I vaguely remember that trip. Like, really vaguely. Yes, I vaguely remember it. If you've ever had like this kind of hoodie, if you've gotten a hoodie, you've probably gotten this type of hoodie. Like, I feel like this is something that, it was always the kind of hoodie that we got for our stuff, like even our Leavers hoodies is this type hoodie. It's not a bad hoodie, it's not a bad hoodie, but it is just like, the way the hood sits is not that great. It's like, kind of odd. It still fits in terms of like, it'll fit your head, but it's very close to your head. It's not like a looser fitting hood. But yeah, it's like, it's an average hoodie, I'd say. Like, it's just alright. And I have not worn this for, I think, literally years. I don't know if I used to wear this when I was riding or not. I can't remember. Right. But anyway, I've been looking through my closet and been looking up clothes that I want to still keep because possibly like a sentimental value. Like technically this hoodie obviously is from a trip and I would like to keep it, but I'd rather not just have it sitting in a drawer just being like, oh well, it's something that is sentimental to me, therefore I'll keep it, sort of deal. And I want to change it into something that, see, I want to say I would wear, but we'll see about my confidence once I have done what I have planned for this one, because this one's going to be quite a dramatic change. Well, actually, the bottom half and top half's majority going to stay the same, but I'm going to do a bunch of shit too. But yeah, because I haven't worn this in a while, I want to change it into something that I'd actually like and something that I'd actually want to wear. I don't necessarily know about like, I feel like the main reason I don't really wear it is because of, I don't know, it's an alright hoodie and I have better hoodies. And I do prefer open, what are they called? Like zipper hoodies, like not ones that have full body hoodies like this. I prefer jumpers to be like this and then like hoodies and jackets to have like a zipper. That's what I like. And obviously because there's kind of, at the front here, this hole, it definitely does mean that it's like, to put a zipper on top of that would be really annoying. You would end up having to hem half the name or like a bit of the name. So anyway, I'll show you what it looks like on because it's pretty much your average hoodie sort of deal. It's pretty much just, again, generic hoodie. I like the sleeve length. I quite like the sleeve length. I think the length of it's actually weird and all that jazz, but again, it's just, I don't fucking wear it. So my plan is, I'm going to turn this into a cropped hoodie, like more properly cropped. I think I'm gonna actually draw out what I have planned like I did with the jar video, because I feel like I'm a lot better at explaining stuff when I have like a visual that I'm drawing and I can show that way, I feel like. But yeah, anyway, plan is to turn this into a cropped hoodie, mainly because unlike this blue one here, which I will do another video on, it doesn't have a big decal on the back, so it means because of the, I can basically chop it right underneath the, I don't know, are they decals? Printed bits? Oh, I'm gonna call them decals because I keep wanting to keep calling them decals. Yeah, underneath the decals. My plan is, I do want to keep this kind of like frill bit at the bottom. I don't know why I'm standing so far back. I suppose I could stand a bit further forward. Here. This would be better. It's because I want to see my face in the mirror, that's why. But I want to keep this sort of like trim at the bottom and that's around there, so I probably would chop it here, move this trim up here, and then I'm going to use the extra material from the pocket to put into the hoodie to make the hoodie a bit bigger. Probably take off the front two bits of the hoodie and then have it so it's more open, coming down maybe about here. And then my plan is, for the material that's here, I'm going to cut them into 2 strips and make like really long like bunny ears and put them onto the back of the hoodie. You'll see what I mean when I draw it, but I feel like it's something that like, it's something I've vaguely come across before with like the bunny ears on the back of the hood. I think there's ones that I've seen them a bunch on AliExpress where it's like the faux fur jacket, well I don't know, it's like fur jacket with the bunny ears on the hood, but they don't go super long, whereas I want these ones to kind of either come down to where the shorts are or like go down almost to the ground. I feel like as well, I might do some stuff to the sleeves, possibly add whiskers onto the side of the hood, which I need to write down. I keep thinking about doing that and never write it down. But anyway, I think it'll be a lot easier if I just show you with me drawing out and all that jazz, because I've already made like a bunch of drawings and like done a good few measurements to make sure like I'd be able to do that with it. So that'll be the next clip for this video. Okay, right, so these are kind of my notes originally of like what the plan is. I'm gonna redraw some of the stuff out, but I've kind of just put down the measurements and stuff that I originally did. I need to do like a proper one where I measure like what the distance between this is and like what the distance between this is and like all of that jazz. But this is pretty much what I need to know as far as I've seen. So basically the plan is to take the pocket material here and add it onto the hood. I don't know, just drawing this out. Anyway, but whatever. Add it onto the hood and possibly cut the hood rather than having it up like this where it's just like a straight kind of line. Cutting into the neckline a little bit more so then it kind of widens it out and then it kind of attaches into here. I could possibly even do it where it's a bit more wider so it kind of comes in like here rather than here sort of deal as well. It depends on like how it's going to end up looking, because my plan is I'm just going to unpick this kind of area up here up to a certain point, then retie it and then possibly like drag it down a bit more and then kind of put it where I need it to be, possibly sew it to that and then cut off the excess. I don't know, we'll see. The sleeves are going to pretty much remain the same, but I might add a sort of ribbon detail that I've put along here. Just kind of like crisscross ribbony detail. That's what I meant to do. There we go. Like crisscross ribbony detail, maybe a bow up at the top, I don't know. Maybe a bow down the bottom. But I think that could be nice to kind of add a bit more detail to the sleeves. I was also possibly thinking, like, because this is supposed to be like gonna have rabbit ears and stuff like that, I was thinking I could also have, I don't know what a rabbit paw looks like. Maybe like the toe beans up here and then like the paw pad down lower maybe? I might actually add a hole into the sleeves. I don't quite know, because I have a couple. I have a hoodie and a jacket that have like those holes in them, but I don't use them. And so I don't know whether it'd be worth bothering to put one in. But anyway, so it's going to be cropped. This is going to be taken from the bottom and reattached. If I spell anything wrong, forgive me, I'm dyslexic. And it's notes. I don't care. I can read it, therefore it's fine. Actually, I probably won't be able to read that tomorrow, but you know. I know. I see here, and it's fine. I'll probably use this to be honest. For the hood, I don't know if I want to attach it here or attach it here. Kind of like lower back. I feel like if I attach it here, it's going to cause too much kind of like pulling if I attach it here. So I feel like if I attach it at the front, it probably is going to fall. I feel like I'm going to have to really strike a balance. I feel like I'd rather it be pulled back because I'm probably not really going to have the hood up a lot. So I think here's the better decision where the ear is going to sit. I mean, it's probably still going to fall like this way anyway. But anyway. The plan is I have an ear and I'm going to basically cut this material into 2 strips. So let's say I cut it at 30. So if it does mean that I have 30 centimeters of material and then it's 62 across, but that's not a round. So it would be 24 round. So that means this would be quite long. Like if I were to have it just straight up, just 15 centimeters straight down, then it would be super long like that. Which, to be honest, I don't really mind. I think I'd probably point the end. Probably point the end or something. I could have faux fur on the inside or even on the outside, because I could have it where, you know, if this is the hood, the kind of inside is out, so it kind of is like folded back sort of deal, rather than just have red. But I suppose I can really like play about with that when I actually have the ears almost set up. But I could either have it so that there's kind of a little overlap of red, and then black on the inside, because my plan is for it to be black, whether it be the faux fur or I have black dress lining coming. So I could possibly have it where it's like, yeah, this is the red. And then it kind of has like a middle center, so it kind of looks like this kind of deal. Maybe, I don't know. But I could do that, which might make it a little bit more interesting than just having like the faux fur on it. It might be an idea to have the faux fur, but it might make it quite heavy. I'll also have to think about like how it's going to fare, I suppose, when out and about, if I take it out and about sort of deal. But yeah, I was also thinking for like the top of the bunny ear, if I wanted to have it so it was less like down, what I can do is possibly, like my logo, have it so that it kind of like comes out like this and then kind of comes in like that. Though maybe I'd make it so it is like extra long sort of deal. So it's like, and then have this either be more red or have it be black. Because if I were to have, let's say, this bit black, this whole idea is like it'd be like fluffing out fur sort of deal. I don't know. There's a lot of ideas, but I feel like I could get to this stage without the ears and then decide pretty much on how everything else is going to look. Yeah, I think my plan is I'm going to get to this stage, not necessarily with this stuff all on it, but just kind of the cropped hoodie, the extended bit up here, this kind of fixed up, placed where I want it, and then obviously I'll have the excess material of this back bit here, and technically the front bit. But I'll have that excess material for making the ears, and then I can really start to look into how I want the ears to look and what I want to do with the rest of this stuff, because there's a lot I could do. And I feel like over time I'll get a better idea of what I want to do as well. Or I can actually add like posters. That sort of deal. Like not necessarily sticking out, but like on the material of the hood. So yeah, I might come back to this whole drawing later on if I finally decide what I'm going to do. But yeah, I think that's it for now, and I'll get started on taking this bad boy apart. But I need to tidy up a bunch of stuff first actually. So hopefully later on tonight I don't know if I'm going to film anything. I might film really quickly. It depends. So see you in a second. Okay, so what I've done is I have folded a bunch of the material up on the inside. That's why there's like safety pins along here and up at the top. And I've taken the band that was at the bottom, I completely unpicked it, and this is it fully straightened out. This is this length. But once I hem it, it'll probably be like a little bit lower than that. I'm thinking what I might do is I might actually put a bit hemming, no I'm not hemming, a bit of the dress lining and kind of hem under and then dress lining underneath, and maybe I could also fold it up and then have like the black lining on the outside, maybe? I'm not sure. But I am going to have to tighten it more. That's why there's these bull cups here, because I ran out of safety pins. So this is basically just keeping it tighter, because when it was too loose, whenever I like raised my arms, it would go like, it would be too loose, so it would show more of my bra, whereas like when I do it now, it doesn't raise up as high, so you cannot see my bra. Well, you can, actually, to be fair, because there's a hole in that bit, but you know. But there is a problem where it does kind of like hook underneath if I do that. But hopefully with the extra lining here, and I'm also thinking I'm going to add like another 2 centimeters down, which should also help as well. And also without the bull clips there, it should like once I kind of get everything a bit more sorted, it'll be fine. But I'm happy with how it's looking so far. I did notice that the hood is actually like lined. I was going to say double lined, but I don't think that's right. It's lined. So basically there's like 2 hoods in here. And I was originally going to obviously use the pocket material as the hood to extend the hood, but that would mean that there'd be a patch where it was only 1 strip, and it, I don't know. My plan is I'm going to unpick all of the hood now rather than just the front bit, and just completely take it apart, look at it from there, and I think my plan is going to be I'm going to line the inside with the black dress lining fabric, which came today. So this is the fabric that I was talking about. I don't have the faux fur. The faux fur is coming probably next week, to be honest. Maybe tomorrow, who knows, but you know, probably next week. Right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the material that's folded up in here, unpick a hem from one of the sides of this band, and then repin it to the fabric, and then I'll come back in and I'll show you what that looks like, and also look at the length of like how the ears are going to look and all that jazz. Because they're going to be a bit different once I actually get the hood sorted. They might end up sitting lower, which is something I'm going to have to remember, but I probably do the ears pretty much after I finish the hood. The next clip is going to be over the paper again, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about what I was thinking of what I was doing, or what I'm going to do for the hood even, and I'll show you like what I'm meaning when I say I'm going to unpick all the hood and add lining and all that jazz. I forgot the video was playing. Alright, so need a little bit of kind of figuring things out and all that jazz. So basically I would have, so the hood material kind of looks like this. That's pretty much what the hood looks like. And so the two of them together would be this, right? So I'd have technically two of these. What I'm thinking is I could take the second pair and cut it along the point where it really starts to curve. So I kind of have more of a square fabric. It might not be exactly square, but hopefully more square. And then I can add it to that so it becomes, no, it's a bit off screen. Yeah. So it becomes a longer one where this is the older or this is the inside fabric and maybe this is the outside fabric. I think in total it was going to end up being 54 centimeters tall. It'd be a very, very wide hoodie, or very, very tall hood. Although hopefully with that extra like tallness, rather than sitting kind of like this, no, that's inappropriate. Rather than sitting, you know, like this, it would sit more like this sort of deal, you know? It's probably gonna fold over the shoulders a bit more, rather, because right now it kind of just sits like this whenever it's lower, but hopefully it would kind of sit like that. Although arguably I'd have this bit more down as well, but you know, that's kind of what we're going for, hopefully. I am still going to use the pocket material because my plan is I'm also going to add, trying to keep everything in frame. Okay, I'm also going to add the pocket material, so basically we're going to end up where, so this is the pocket material, which would be probably about 10 centimeters length. So we kind of widen the hood a little bit, but not too much, because I find the hood's like an alright width, but it's really kind of like the tallness of the hood will help it sit, you know, more like this sort of deal. I'm hoping. And then it'll be black on the inside for the black liner. But yeah, I think that's mainly what I was thinking for it. But I'm still going to sort out the bottom bit, at least get that kind of pinned in place, ready for what I need to do next to it. We'll go from there and then we can sort out the hood. Alright, okay. So, I have cut off the fabric and have attached the band to the bottom of it. It's sitting a little bit lower now, or I think it is, because I added a couple centimeters like onto the end, and I'm also finding like if I raise my hands up but then also lower, there's a bit more of a band, I feel like, or at least I think there is. I think once I actually properly sew it and get it sorted, it'll actually look at like it'll be a bit more, I don't know what I was trying to say. I suppose a bit stiffer because I'll have a little bit, another layer of fabric there, and this should be kind of more flat. I still have this little bit here, which is just the extra fabric pinned together to kind of tighten this area here. But yeah, also I have the extra material here. It's a lot, as you can see. So I unhemmed one side though, so there's still this line in the middle of the thing if I decide to use the full length, because the full length would go pretty much down to like mid-calf if I were to do full length. That's not even at the back of the hood though, or where it would be on the hood, it's ideal. But if I were to half it, just add this line and just use half of the material, technically not half, I don't know, then it comes down to there, sort of deal. And I think I want it to go further, but I think the next step is going to be sorting out the hood, because I think once I get the hood sorted out and I understand where that's sitting, I can kind of then actually look at like what length I'll need for this, because I would like it to be lower. I don't know if I want it the full length, just mainly because it might be a little too long, but I might do it so it's like, let's say 1.5, like that, 1.5 length. That might be pretty good in terms of length. Yeah, because that kind of comes down to the back of my knee or so, if I do that. Well, maybe not back of the thigh. Back of the knee, back of the thigh sort of area, which I think is pretty good. It would also mean I'd have a bunch of extra material here that I could use for something. Probably not the hood, because if I'm going to unpin the hood and use the inner lining for extending it and all that jazz, then it should be fine. Also, there's a hole in this fabric, which I think is for like headphones, because this was like the where back to the where the pocket was, and I think you're supposed to like put, I don't know, like an iPod or whatever music player in your pocket, and then you'd have like the headphones come up the inside of your jumper, which I think is kind of cool, to be honest. But it more just seems like a split in the fabric than an actual like finished off piece. Like it seems like something where like it could tear wide and open or whatever. But yeah, so I think the plan is we're going to start taking apart the hood, I think. Yeah, we're going to start taking apart the hood, and we're going to look at hopefully pinning that. If there's enough daylight, I might film that. Probably won't be though. And then I can maybe look at the length of this. But I think after that it'll be applying the lining to the hood, applying the lining to the inside of this band, and then kind of attaching everything together to get the base done. And then I can properly look at the ears and actually like what they're going to look like for the rest of it. Alright, okay, so I've just realized something, like I don't have to fully unpick everything because of the way that it's kind of come undone. I can pretty much just cut off one of these ends and then it's pretty much already what I need it to be, so I don't need to just fully unpick everything. So the next time you'll see this being or been attached to what I have of the hoodie in the next clip. Right, so I've pinned the hood on, and I did what I said in the last clip where I just cut off the bottom. Arguably I could add the pocket material, but I don't know if that's really going to make any sort of benefit. So what I'm thinking is the neckline. I'll maybe chop the neckline so it kind of comes a bit further down rather than being up here. Now the hood, I think it's fine, but I think it's like too big at this point. Like I definitely still wanted it bigger, but I don't know about this big. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try a couple different lengths. So I'll probably just fold over the material and try like maybe 10 centimeters extra, and then try their like other lengths, like rather than, because this is 20 centimeters extra. I also could technically like gather up more of the material and pin it to here, so then like it would still technically function as a hood because it's huge right now. Like literally I could put like a face on the top of it and we're like, it's that big. So I just got reminded of an advert. Oh my god, what advert is it? I can't remember the fucking advert, but I've seen it every so often. Just this woman has like a big like red on the inside hood or something. I can't remember. It was I just vaguely remember that. So I have this hood, which is obviously quite big, but I tend to have my hair up in a ponytail and stuff like that, so like I feel like having a bigger hood is not a problem. I feel like it's alright. Like I feel like the thing about it is like there's just so much material down here. Like I feel like this would be, I don't want to chop it to this point. I feel like that's too short, but I think I should probably kind of get half of this off, so maybe it's sitting more here than as big as it is right now, because it's just too much. So yeah, I'm gonna have a play about with that and I'll get back. Alright, anyway. So I cut off 10 centimeters from the hood, so it's not an extra 20 but an extra 10 this time. You can see like the eyelets are closer to the bottom now, but I think that's a lot better. Like it's less fabric around here, which I think is good. It's still quite nice and big. It still goes quite far back, I suppose. Like once this is hemmed, it's going to come slightly more in, but the majority of the time it's going to be sitting down anyway. But that's kind of what's going to be sitting like from the front. That's what it's going to be sitting like in the back. I think that's a bit better than the extra 10 centimeters. I think the 10 centimeters is just giving it too much. I don't think I need to add the pocket material to it, so I think we're alright for that. So I just need to really do the lining, and then I need to figure out how I'm going to cut this area here. So what's the plan for the next bit? I think the next bit is going to be unpinning the hood and the bottom band bit. Then it's going to be adding the lining to the bottom band bit and the hood. Then figuring out how I'm going to attach it to both the top and the bottom, and what I'm going to do here, because I don't really want it to sit quite like that. I do want it to come down, so I'll need to figure that out as well. And I think at that point, either right before I go and attach everything, I'll show it, or I'll just attach it first. And then I'm thinking I'll have a look at the hood, or I'll have a look at the ears. I'm also like, I'm thinking what I might do for the bit of material that has the eyelet on it. I think I might cut up the seam, take this out, and then replace it with another bit, so I don't just have these two eyelets randomly here, and maybe I can also use these eyelets somewhere else, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm thinking I'll probably take them out though. It's a little bit extra work, but it might mean I'll be able to put them somewhere else, which might look a little bit better than just like randomly on the side of the hood. So, or where I can actually use them, I suppose, as well. But yeah, I think that's everything for today really. I'll just start getting the lining and everything prepped to actually sew, because I won't be able to use it tonight because the machine is loud. So yeah. Alright, so I don't really remember what I did in the last clip, but I did the hood and I did the ears. I lost my train of thought. I really like how it's coming along. My main concern with the ears is mainly just if it falls forward, because then obviously it drags the weight of the hood down, but for the most part it stays back pretty well, and I've been debating on putting a stitch kind of here so that it kind of holds the ear back a bit more, and it'll stop it from possibly falling forward. I might also add a couple more stitches into the kind of hood to keep the lining fairly like close to it. The bottom bit is still open, so I can still do things on the inside of the hood if I need to. I'm quite happy with like the placement of the ears as well. I think they look quite good. I think the main thing is like originally I kind of wanted it so that the ear was like that, so I'm thinking if I actually like add that stitch in there, it should hopefully help it hang like that. I can't see where the hood is a problem, but I'm trying to film this. But basically I want the ear, instead of hanging this way, I want it to hang this way if I can get it to. But other than that, I think that's everything I did. I really quite like where the ears are sitting. I really prefer them to be down than I prefer them to be up. To be honest, I don't tend to wear my hood up and stuff like that, so I feel like down is where they're probably going to sit now. What I could do is a lot of different things. I definitely still want to do something with the arms, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. There is one thing I was thinking of doing to the hood. I was thinking of possibly adding some ribbon, like 3 bits of ribbon, maybe kind of shorter bits, and just putting them on there and having like 3 whiskers almost. It's something I can add on to the end, so it's not something I need to do now. Like, I'm debating on doing that. The other thing I could do is sort of like a crossy kind of corset-y detail down the side of the arms. I might pin it, like just pin a bunch of the fabric on here, or the ribbon even, and then see how that's kind of looking. I was also thinking of possibly adding like rabbit paw prints like up the side of the arms, or doing some sort of design down here. I was thinking also on maybe around the entire bottom, but I'm definitely thinking for the London logo on the back, adding or painting even the like skyline of London, like so it's kind of like goes from red to white, and then kind of in the background is the painted black for the thingy, for the London skyline even, and I think it would fit quite well. I think also on the back it would work, because the back tends to remain quite stretched out, whereas the front tends to kind of like hook under my boobs. So I feel like that's something I could do. I don't know, I feel like at this point I'm kind of like, I've mainly done a good amount on the base, but I've got a few things to think about in terms of what I want to do. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I might go back to the paper again that I was drawing on previously to show you what I was going to do, and I might show you a couple of the ideas I had. I think I already showed the ribbon one, I'm not sure, and I might go ahead and do what I said before where I pin it in place and get it sorted. I think maybe I'll probably get a better idea of what I want to do and then start pinning things in place, and then kind of like show it off in the video and then see how we feel after that, and then I'll go ahead and do whatever the hell I want to do. So yeah, see you in a bit I suppose. I could also, rather than doing like the whiskers with ribbons, I could just put like 3 lines as well. That's also something I could do as well. I feel like there's so much stuff I could do with it, but I think my main thing is like the majority of it is more like aesthetic than any more work on the actual hoodie itself even. I just need to hem this bit around here and then close off the bottom of this and then attach it properly, and that'll be that done. So it's mainly just working on what I can with what I have right now. Okay, so it's been a little while since I've actually done anything with this project, because I've kind of just left it where I had it, and I don't quite remember what I last filmed. So right now I'm in the stage where the hood is kind of pretty much done, I think. I don't have any plans to do anything else with it, but I'm going to wait until the end to sew it together to the actual body bit, the hoodie,
So right now it's just kind of pinned on there. But I want to figure out what I want to do with the sleeves and the main body, I suppose, first. So I had a few little brainstorms. So like, I had a few little brainstorms. I'm trying to show you like just this very small scribble I did. Because I've taken to like, I always find like, I enjoy baths, but I find them kind of boring. So I've kind of taken a little like notebook in with me with a pencil and just kind of drawing some stuff out. Because I did it with a pen and the pen was acting weird. So, but yeah, so this is just like the paw prints of a rabbit. Because I was thinking of the design, which you'll see in the next bit. But I was thinking what I could do is like the London skyline and like put it either all around the bottom so it's on the front and the back, or just on the back or just on the front. I feel like it's something that I'd put all the way around if I was going to do it. But I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sort out the sleeves, then I'm going to go and I'm going to do any of the other extra bits. Alright, so this one is just some ideas. I was thinking of putting like a big paw print right on the shoulder. This was just like a general kind of like, as I was talking about before, at least I'm pretty sure I've talked about it, having the like ribbons crisscrossing. And then one I was thinking of having like kind of more of a full-on pattern up the sleeves. I was also thinking of possibly stuffing this with some like foam, I suppose, stuffing to like give it a little bit of a 3D effect, but I don't know, I don't think that would work quite well, particularly because I feel like it would just bend in the inside fabric, so it would have to either be quite stuffed or it would have to be like round basically to work. I quite like the idea of possibly just painting it on there like that, and then possibly adding like the bottom bit, the bottom half is like a lace up maybe, I'm not sure, but that was like another idea. And then I was also thinking what I could do is around the neck is add like a this is what laptop means. Around the neck have like a sort of pattern, so this is kind of like, it's scribbly as fuck because I was just thinking about generally how it would look like. But there's sort of like a rabbit head in the middle and then kind of coming out to like some roses and then maybe some other kind of like flora sort of deal. Possibly having it where it's like a pop in the middle and coming out to the head and then a rose. Like that sort of idea, like around the middle. So I'd probably say if I was going to do something like this, I would probably not do the London skyline on the front, but maybe it's something that I could confine just to the back and then have this at the front. I think it could look quite cool, but I need to figure out exactly how I want to do this first. And then obviously I could have like, to be honest, I'd probably start out with a main paw print like this and then add on extra ones if that's what I wanted to do. So I think I might, actually, to be honest, part of me is tempted to show this, but at the same time part of me is like, this might end up pushing the video to quite a length. So I'm not quite sure. No, I don't know. I'll just probably start drawing and then I'll see if I end up like actually cutting it or whatever out of the actual final thing. So we'll see. Okay, right, so this is what I was thinking in terms of, like, obviously the pattern on the front wouldn't have the London bit at the bottom or the skyline bit at the bottom. Yeah, like, I don't know. I've still got, I need to decide on what I want to do. I think I am going to do this bit and I am going to do like the big paw on the shoulder. So I think that's what I'd start out with. So I might draw a couple things and then come back a little bit later on and then I kind of decide on what I want to do and how it's going to look and all that jazz. And I can show that off. Alright, okay, so I've done a couple of like ideas. This is kind of like almost like a more wintry one in a way, and then this one's kind of like the idea of like the rose, and then also done some thorns and stuff like that. I want to play about with this side I think a little bit more. I think it's a little bit better. I also tried doing like, the idea is that both sides would look like this, but I can be doing the other side. But kind of do like a skull and then like the silhouette kind of in black. That might look kind of quite good. I need to play about with this a little bit more. I'm thinking I need to just basically measure like how far I want it to go and then just on a piece of paper just properly draw it out. Maybe even do it on the on computer or something like that so I can like properly mirror it and then use that as like a template. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm gonna do just as yet. But yeah, I still got a bunch more to do with this one, but I think that should be that for like just now. I'll maybe just show like what the final design is before I start doing this idea. Alright, okay, so I don't know if I'm 100% done with this one yet. I think
I am pretty much just going to finish it for the video at least, or at least say this is it for the video. So for, what did I do? Okay, so I did kind of a paw print on the sleeve. It looks less like a rabbit paw print, and now it looks more like a cat, or like a cat. I did a little design on the front. I'll show it a little bit more detail. I'll explain how I did it in a minute, but like I did like a little rabbit thing here with like a rabbit skull, and then some roses and some leaves. I did also do a rabbit up here with some thorns on the side of a heart and hearts here, but like I don't know, I don't really like that one, so I don't mind that it gets covered. I also, the way I sewed this bit here is not the best, but at the same time I feel like you can't really see it from particularly far away, so I feel like it's alright really. So I did the ears as well. I can't remember whether I finished off the ears last time and I showed that, but I did the ears as well. I really like the length of them. I think they're not too long and they're not too short. To be honest, I think they're kind of longer than they originally were gonna, because I feel like they were originally going to sit here. I think maybe that might be because of the hood being a lot bigger, so there's that. But yeah, how I did the symmetricalness on this, because this is all done with Sharpie, this paw print and the little design on top. What I did was I did one side and then I got some tracing paper, traced it. I then on the other side went over the lines with, or no, on that same side, I think that same side. I went over it with pastel, like a white pastel, flipped it over, went over the lines again on the other side so that I had a pastel outline on this side. I then just drew over it and then kind of like rubbed out the pastel maybe a bit, went over it with some of the other details like filling in the leaves and all that jazz. I really like the start of this little design, but I don't really like the ending, to be honest. I don't know. I was going for something, I don't really know what, but I was going for something that didn't really work that well. Overall, I really like this. Could I do more to the sleeves? Probably, but at the same time, I don't really know what. Later on, I might add more of these paw prints just to give it a little bit of definition. I didn't really do much to the back of it. I was originally going to do like the London, like a skyline of London. Not necessarily the actual skyline of London, just because a lot of the buildings that you'd recognise are like kind of further apart from each other. My original idea was to do that skyline, but it would have ended up just so like small and kind of cramped. It wouldn't have been worth it, I don't think. So yeah, this is the final thing. I really do like it. I may end up doing more in the future. I was debating on putting a little bit of iron-on hemming on that seam there for the hood and just finishing off that, and hopefully that'll, you know, help it not look as bad. But to be honest, from the way this kind of tends to sit, it's not like that bad. I'm tempted to also just kind of like put a little stitch in here so it kind of sits open, because I tend to not like actually put up my hood, but then again, it's supposed to be good to have if I need it. But yeah, that's the end of this. Like if you like this video, I suppose, or if you didn't like it so, or dislike it, I don't know. There's a weird thing where it's like, even if you like or dislike, it doesn't matter because it's still interaction on the video or something. Anyway, okay, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Bye!